The besties are reading Bunny. Hey guys, welcome back. So Alana and I have decided we are going to buddy read this together. We're going to read the first, well, most of the book. We're going to read separate, and then tomorrow night we are going to read the ending together. I'm matching. Did I pick this up at the dollar store a little while ago? Because I was like, that's the exact color of my book. Yes, I did, because I don't usually wear pink. Oh, shoot. There. I thought it would be fun to look up the reviews on it. So overall on Goodreads, it has a 3.45. Let's check the 1-star reviews first, because I think that would be fun. This one says, I want to be the person that likes weird books, but I don't think I'm the person that likes weird books. TikTok sensation should have given it away, but honestly, what a fucking dreadful book. Finally, I am free. God, this was truly awful. You know when you get a feel for a book and the feel is, I don't like this, but I'm going to give it a chance. But then you give it a chance and it doesn't improve. So that happened. 1 star. Well, I didn't like it, and I think everyone was hitting the crack pipe. I'm weird and messed up enough without this. Time of death, page 121. No thank you. If you like poorly written, pretentious millennial garbage, this book is for you. I don't know about millennial garbage, but okay. This one just says, nope. My pea-sized brain cannot comprehend this abstract nonsense. The 5 stars. Okay, first up is Kayla from Books and Lala. Because I follow her, so hers is at the top. It says, ha 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 ha, what the fuck. This was the weirdest book I've read in my life, and I don't know if I loved it or hated it, but it was amazing and broke my brain. This book is pure demented madness. I loved it. I loved all of it, and I think all of you weirdos should read it, because you might just love it too. If I wake up tomorrow and find out that I hallucinated this book, I'm not going to be surprised. What the fuck did I just read, and why was it so good? Okay, this is everything I'd ever want in a book. It was weird. It was unhinged. It had so much more going on behind the surface than I initially thought. Dark, weird, and deliciously good, like a fever dream in book form. I love you, Bunny. Mean girls on drugs. I need a blunt to help process. This was fucked up. Weird and utterly phenomenal. This was bonkers, and I loved every second of it. Apparently, I am either gonna love this or hate this. So, like I said, we're doing live sprints. Well, a live sprint tomorrow afternoon to finish this. So, I have basically at this point 24 hours to read this book. So, let's go ahead and get started, I guess. So I just finished chapter 1, and my initial thoughts are I don't know if I'm gonna love this writing style. Is this a cannibal book? Because the way that the girls are like all over each other, and the way that it describes them and the like sensory details that it gives, it's giving cannibal. So we'll have to see. I'm about to cook supper, so I am going to put on the audiobook for just a little while. Also, I need to charge my camera. So far, it's just a little boring, to be honest. I think I'm on like chapter 8, and so far, I don't know, it's like she's trying to be vague about things and mysterious. And I don't know if that's because she's trying to create this kind of like fever dream feeling to support my previous assumptions. The main character did talk about when she met one of the bunnies for the first time, that the one that she calls Cupcake, she talked about wanting to take a bite out of her. But also, there's just kind of things that are kind of like pulling me out of the story, I think, or things that just kind of like are bothering me. For example, it said that her friend had David Bowie eyes, and so I was like, does she mean that they're 2 different colors, or does she mean like Jareth eyes? Because that's what I pictured. Later on, it did say that she had 2 different color eyes, and so that annoyed me, because I'm like, David Bowie doesn't have 2 different color eyes. He just has one pupil that was always dilated. Anyways, I mean, that's just my nerdy knowledge, so maybe people don't know that. But then also, she and her friend pretend to be a guy for each other, because it said that they spent a lot of time something and tangoing, and I was like, does that mean sex? Does that mean they were having sex? No, literally they were doing the tango, because this man that they dream up for themselves does the tango with them. And so they take turns pretending to be the panther-footed Diego, I think his name was. So at the point where I am now, Samantha got the invitation to go to the smut salon. And so we're about to head there. Actually, she just got there. And I don't know, the whole thing, obviously it's weird. I just read all of the things that said it was going to be weird. So I do think I'm going to listen to the audiobook just a little bit longer, because I do think I want to crochet something for my niece. So I don't really have a ton of pink crochet hooks, but I did make this one when I was going through a phase where I wanted to learn how to make like the clay crochet hooks. I am going to crochet a bunny with overalls, pink bunny with yellow overalls. How's it gonna look when I get done? I don't know, but we're gonna do it. Okay, so she just got back from, it's like the day after this whole smut salon thing, and apparently that's where they read smutty things to each other. I don't know. I'm also kind of getting culty vibes, like almost like Stepford wife vibes. So I'm not sure which way it's gonna go. Like, are they all sort of like brainwashed? Because it talked about one character, one of the bunnies, how she acted differently towards her before she became a bunny. So I don't know, it may be something like that too. Like, you get sucked up into this like culty clique, and then you get like reprogrammed or something. I don't know. We're gonna keep going. I started it here, but this crochet hook is too thin. It hurts to crochet with. I need thicker, more ergonomic hooks now that I'm entering my old age. Okay, that was weird. So yeah, there's definitely something with bunnies, because she told her to go get a bunny, but she's like drunk or drugged or both. It was weird. Okay, so I'm about a quarter of the way through, and I don't know, like, I'm getting like fever dream vibes. Like, I'm seriously thinking that the main character is like crazy and she is inventing these people in her head. Like her friend Ava, it's like she doesn't even exist. I don't know, it's weird. Okay. Wow. So yeah, that's chapter 11. That was wild. That was weird. I have to say the writing is growing on me. And I'm thinking that, like, maybe you're supposed to wonder if she's crazy. Okay, so anyways, I made the ears. Somehow, those are not the same. They're totally different sizes. Oh well. I just finished part one, and Alana started before me and was kind of like texting me her updates. And at first she was like, I don't know if I like this. I don't know if this is gonna be for me. And then all of a sudden she texted me and she's like, I'm giving this book 5 stars. What? What do you mean? What do you mean? I marked the spot or the page where she was on. She said she was giving it 5 stars. I'm about 25 pages away from there. And I think I feel the same way. I'm starting to like it. It's very weird. Like you guys saw in the beginning, I did the 1-star reviews and some 5-star reviews, and they basically said the same thing. That's the crazy thing. And so it's like, do you like a wild, crazy, totally wackadoodle book? It feels like a fever dream. Like I would not be surprised if at the end it's one of those things was like, and then she woke up and it was all a dream, or it's the book that she's turning in at the end of her thing. Like I would not be surprised if every bit of this is some kind of a hallucination she's having, because it is getting a little unhinged. But I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next. Update on my bunny. I got 2 ears and 2 little arms. I think this is probably one of the most unhinged books I've ever read in my life. This is a spoiler, just so that you know. If you don't want to hear it, mute me. At this point, she has like become a bunny. Like she's part of the bunnies. And what they're doing is they're turning bunnies into men. And sometimes it's fine. It works out fine. For the most part, they're not perfect, but sometimes they scream, or their heads explode, or they're gooey. It's really crazy, and they have to like chop them up if they're not right, or if something goes wrong. So they're like butchering these bunnies turned men. And then not only that, like they are, it's like they're one organism. Like in part 2, the tone switches and it starts out like, we huddle hug on the velvety green among the cherry blossom trees. We link arms. We close our eyes the better to feel each other's bodies. We form a hot little circle of love and understanding. We press our faces into our faces, our cheeks against our cheeks, our eyelashes tickling our skins like little hummingbird wings, like bunny nose twitches. And it goes on like that, like they're a single organism. And I think when it says we, that's still Samantha, the main character, talking. But she refers to them as one entity, as Buddy. Yeah, it's like she doesn't remember who she is or anything. And then at the point where I am now, which is getting pretty close to the middle of the book, her friend Ava stops her and is like, you're in a cult. And she kind of starts to remember things. I'm really interested to see where the story is going to go from here. So Ava left, and Samantha is still going to be there with the bunnies. And so I'm wondering if she like goes back, like if she loses her identity and just becomes part of Bunny, or if she's gonna like keep her own self separate. Let me see, I've now got 138 pages until I get to those last 2 chapters. My pink shirt is in the washing machine, so I can put that back on for the reading sprint tonight with Alana. And I think I might switch back to the audiobook for a little while and finish my bunny. I just finished part 2. So in part 2, obviously we started with where she was part of the bunnies, but her friend Ava ends up like snapping her out of it. But when it's her turn to turn one of the bunnies into a man, it doesn't work. But then it might have worked even better than them, because there's this guy that she keeps seeing. Like, she sees him in the grocery store stealing stuff, and she sees him on the bus, and he leads her back to Ava's house because Ava has like left and she can't find her. And so she's been sick at her apartment alone up until Christmas, and it's Christmas time now in the book, and he leads her back to Ava's house, and suddenly she's there, and that's the end of part 2. So at the beginning of part 3, like, she is in Ava's house, and she's like, is that fireplace there? I don't remember that fireplace being there. And just like the descent into madness is like so trippy in here. You know, I've only got like 66 pages until we get to the point where Alana and I are going to read it together. And I don't know, I feel like just in those 66 pages, like, who knows, the whole twist of everything could happen. I still can't help but feel like this is going to be one of those where she is just crazy in imagining this whole thing. It made it a point to talk about Ava's gloves a couple of times, and the bunnies wear gloves. Not the bunnies, the girls, but the bunnies that turn into boys wear gloves. And so I'm like, what if her friend is actually a bunny? I don't know. This is a wild book, and I can't wait to finish it. My headphones died, and so I had to put them on the charger, and I've been reading physically, so I only got this far on my bunny's body. But I'm gonna check and see if my headphones are charged up enough that I can listen to it while I finish my bunny.
When she was just small.
In about 10 minutes, Alana and I are going to do our live reading sprint to finish Bunny. That way we can see each other's reactions in real time. I feel like we're both going to have the same rating for it at this point. So as far as the bunny goes, I've got a head. I'm not putting safety eyes on it because it's for my niece and I don't want her to chew them all. The body, I've still got to stuff, but it's not giving a bunny. It's giving Patrick. It's definitely giving Patrick. But maybe once you put the head and the big floppy ears on, it will give Bunny. I was hoping to have it done by the time we hopped on, but I did not have time to finish it. We probably should have stopped at like part 3 and just read the entire part 3 together, because the beginning of part 3 is crazy. I think I told you that he led the guy that she thinks is the bunny, led her back to Ava's house, right? And turns out that him and Ava are a couple, and so she's trying to get up the courage to tell Ava that he's not real. Then Ava is talking about stuff that Max is doing at school, some kind of like an art installation or something that he's working on. And so she goes into his room and she finds his phone and she finds a notebook, and in the notebook it's got everybody's email and password, and he's gotten texts from all of the bunnies. She ends up telling Ava that Max is not real and that something's up with him. She ends up leaving, and then when she comes back, Max is there and Ava is gone. Instead, there's a swan that's been killed. And so it turns out that Samantha created Ava out of a swan. And I told you that she was not human, that she was not real, that she was a animal or a figment of her imagination. And I was right. When she left, she went to like an emergency workshop or whatever with her riding cohort, which is her and the bunnies. And the bunnies are now like fighting amongst each other. They're not like a cohesive thing anymore, and they're fighting with each other, and it's because of Max. And then at the end of the part, it says that it was her face. Max had her face. So I'm assuming that she's Max and that she was the one that got broke the bunnies up somehow. And I think now they're gonna go fuck the bunnies up. Oh my gosh. I didn't expect it to end like that.
Yeah, me neither.
I honestly thought they were gonna go kill the bunnies.
It ended so normal compared to.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute.
It just ends with graduation?
And there you have it, we're done. The ending. I was kind of expecting them to like go and like go on a murdering spree, but no. They go back to where the bunnies are, and she ends up turning Max back into a stag, a deer, and he goes off into the woods, and then they cut to graduation, and all of the bunnies have like broken arms and legs and whatever, and they say that it was some kind of project they were doing for school that got them hurt. That was the end. So it's not the ending that I was expecting, but I do like that it kept it open to your interpretation of, was it even real? Like, is that really what happened? Like, the magical aspect of it, those things that were happening, was that real or not? And then also just overall, like, there's the basic storyline. Like, your main character in this cult of girls that she kind of gets sucked into, and then she ends up trying to leave and find her own way again, I guess. But then there is, like, you can step back and you can look at it in a more metaphorical sense. And so some of the things that Alana and I talked about were the idea of going to college and getting a master's of fine arts, going through, you know, writing classes and writing workshops and things like that, and how it could actually stifle your creativity, and the idea that the bunnies were coming up with the popular, catchy, tropey ideas, and they were well received, and she was coming up with these ideas that were more real and gritty and coming from a place of the painful and negative things in her life, and it was not a pretty or palatable idea or story, but it was real. And in the end, that is what the bunnies wanted, was something that was more real. And that's why they were like fighting over Max, which could be considered like her ideal story or whatever. You can bring in the commentary on, you know, cliques, being in the in crowd, or sororities or things like that, and being left out of opportunities like that. And then the links that could drive you to, the mental anguish and the breaking point that could drive you to. And then Alana pointed out that the whole book and everything that she goes through could also be a metaphor for being a writer and going through the writing process, and you're trying to come up with these ideas, and you know, when the ideas aren't good, you're killing them off. Kill your darlings. She has a lot of flashbacks to her mom telling her to, you know, like, get your head out of the clouds. You need to live in the real world. You need to get your imagination under control. You know, all of those things. Like, you can't just live in this imaginary world all of the time. And a lot of authors, they do live in imaginary worlds most of the time. So I really enjoyed the ambiguity of it, and the fact that yes, you can take it at surface level of just this wild story about a girl who may or may not have had a mental breakdown in her college experience, because it does have that descent into madness, and especially being alone and not having her mom, not having her dad, not having any friends. That is a very stressful situation, and for a lot of people that could be an outcome. So you can look at it like that and wonder, like, did the magical things actually happen or not? But then you can also look at it in a deeper sense of, is it a commentary on going through a traditional program, and does it kill your creativity? Does it force you into these, you know, cookie cutter trope heavy boxes? Or can it be a metaphor for being a writer and your writing process in general? I loved it. I did not think I was in the beginning, but by the end, it was 5 stars, and I absolutely understand all of the ratings on Goodreads that said, what the fuck did I just read? And the one that said, I don't know if I love it or hate it, but I'm giving it 5 stars. Completely understood. Definitely get it. I also finished my bunny plushie. This does not match the vibe of this, but it does match the colors. So that is it for this video. This was a super fun collaboration, and I cannot wait to do our next one, which you should be seeing in just a couple of months. So definitely go check out her video, and I will see you in another one of my videos soon. Bye guys.